Editing is a long process. It can sometimes take hours, even days, sometimes weeks to finish a project. So you need to make sure you're optimizing your workflow. You need to learn how to have an insanely efficient and good workflow. Well, in doing so, it'll save you more time, which will help you be able to edit more videos and land more jobs, which will inevitably give you more money and more work to be able to put your name on. Now, when it comes down to saving time, in my opinion, it all comes down to what happens before the edit, the data management, the organization. And I know this isn't the sexiest thing in the world to talk about, but it's super important, especially if you are a seasoned video editor. You likely know this, but if you're new, which a lot of you are, this is important and you need to pay attention to this. Take it from me. I've been editing for 5+ years and I edit for some of the biggest YouTubers like AthleanX. And I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm saying it to let you know that I have experience in this field, enough to tell you that, in my opinion, the most important thing in my workflow is the organization beforehand. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you didn't focus on organization, right? You start your project and your project starts to grow. Well, what's gonna happen is the more assets, the more B-roll, the more A-roll, the more audio, sound effects, music, the more that you start adding, the more of a mess your timeline becomes. And sometimes these projects that last days will become an absolute nightmare to edit if you are not organized. You won't know where anything is placed. If you're in an editing room with a director or someone who's watching over your shoulder, you'll look like an absolute fool who doesn't know what they're doing, or you look unorganized and unprofessional. So you need to focus on having a good organization structure, and you need to do it from the beginning, because I'll tell you what, I know it might sound like I'm exaggerating, but if you focus on a organization structure and you implement it, it'll save you sometimes hours of time. Now, when I first started editing, I did not take organization super seriously, and because of this, there was this one project that literally traumatized me, which is why I focus so much on organization now, where the actual project only took me about 3 days to do. But then when I had to go and revise it, and when I had to start looking for things, it took me like a week to finish. And it was an absolute nightmare because I was unorganized and I didn't know where anything was. So don't be like I was, and make sure you're staying organized. So I've actually created my own editing folder structure to help me stay organized that I think is the best folder structure out there, and that will help you to the end of time as an editor. And I've created this folder structure for anyone who uses Final Cut Pro and Premiere Pro as well. I haven't yet done it for DaVinci Resolve because I haven't really taken a dive into that software yet, but who knows, maybe in the future. Now, I've created this alongside a myriad of other presets and assets that are actually all available in my new course that I just dropped. However, I was feeling nice today and I'm happy about the drop of my new course. So lucky for you, anyone watching this video, I'm actually going to give this folder structure away completely for free to you. And I'm also going to cut right now to a free preview of one of the videos inside of my new course showing you exactly how this folder structure actually works. Quickly, before I actually play this video, as I just said, I wanted to let you guys know that I did just release my own video editing course. It just launched March 1st, which is today as of filming this video. And in this course, I'm not only showing you guys how to create a profitable short form editing business, and the reason I say short form is because that's what I'm focused on in the course as of right now, as it's something that is increasing in popularity right now. But more importantly, after I teach you the business side of things, I actually teach you how to edit short form content. But it's not just a trendy course where I'm teaching you how to edit short form content because it's trending at the moment. Yes, I am doing that, but I also teach you editing fundamentals in the course. And the course is going to continue to grow. Right after this video, I'm continuing to film more lessons for the course. This course is starting out as a short form editing course where I'm teaching you how to create a short form editing business as well as how to edit short form content. But I'm going to be expanding this course starting next month, where we're going to actually teach you and dive deep into all long form content and how to create a career in editing with longevity rather than just focusing on trends like short form content, for example. And we're also going to dive deep in future lessons into the psychology of editing and the storytelling aspects of editing too. But right now, as of March 1st, you can get into the course at a discounted price. I recommend you guys take action now because this price isn't going to last forever. But if you're interested in taking action and enrolling into the course, it's going to be the first link in the description below. And then the second link in the description below will be the free folder structure that I'll be giving you today. So without further ado, here is a video from my course teaching you how to use this folder structure. So I'm not going to go super in depth on data management. I'm just going to show you how I file structure out my projects and how it makes my life significantly easier and way more organized And when I'm editing something, it speeds up my process way more because when I need something, I know exactly where to go to find it. I also want to add that beneath this video, I'm going to be leaving a free downloadable preset, which I normally charge, but if you're in this course, you get it for free. And it's my exact folder structure system already laid out for you, ready to implement. And that's essentially what I'm going to be going through in this video. You can copy this, or you can just download the preset below and have it ready to go for every project. So essentially, when you download the preset, the folder that you're going to get when you unzip it is going to be this right here, folder structure. And when you click into this, I designed it so you have the first one that's applicable for anybody who's editing on Final Cut Pro, and the second one is for anybody who's editing on Premiere Pro. So most of you are going to be on Premiere Pro, so you could just delete this and right click this one, rename it, and put 01 for Premiere Pro. You double click into whichever one is applicable to you. For me, it's Premiere Pro. And inside you'll have this. You'll have A-roll, B-roll, sound design, music, miscellaneous, projects, and exports. So essentially we're gonna go by this one by one. So A-roll, what is A-roll? Well, A-roll is the main video. So let's say I download a video from YouTube and I wanna take that video and edit it into a short. That's gonna be my A-roll. Once I download that, I'm gonna drag and I'm gonna drop it into the A-roll folder. Then what I'm gonna do is B-roll. B-roll is any extra footage. So let's say, for example, I'm editing a workout short and they have a talking head like this explaining how to do a bicep curl, but they're not actually doing a bicep curl. What I would do is I would get B-roll or stock footage from Storyblocks or something like that. I would download it and I would put it over the footage and I would put that in the B-roll folder. Next is sound design. So anytime you have a transition to add more depth, for example, I would put a whoosh sound effect or something like that just to add some more depth to the edits. I would put any of those sound effects in the sound design folder. Next is music. That's self-explanatory. Any music you put in the music folder. Miscellaneous. So what will I put in miscellaneous? Well, if I download a GIF, for example, I'll put that in miscellaneous. If I create an adjustment layer, which I'll explain later, I'll put that in miscellaneous, anything like that. Next is projects. So if you double click into projects, you'll see that you have a folder for Premiere Pro and a folder for After Effects. Now in the next video after this one, we're actually gonna be going over how to create a new project. So this will make a lot more sense in that video. However, essentially when you create a new project, what you wanna do is you wanna put your project file into the folder that's applicable for that. So for example, if I create a project in Premiere Pro, I am going to go here to Projects, Premiere Pro, and I'm gonna put that file, that project file in this folder, in the same for After Effects. So next is exports. And I think that what I did here is very, very applicable to the real world, especially if you're working on client projects. Because if you click on the exports, you have V1, V2, V3. V1, V2, V3 stands for version. So version 1, version 2, etc. So typically when you send clients a video, they always come back with revisions. Well, the V1 is usually the first draft. V2 is the revised draft, etc., etc. What I do is I'll put my first draft in V1 because it's my version 1. I'll send it off to the client using frame.io, which we went over. They'll leave their revisions, and then what I'll do is I will revise my project, and then when I revise that second project, I will put it in version 2 because it's the second version of that same video. You get the point. Sometimes they like the first draft and you never have to make more than one version. So that's what I have here in exports. Typically, you never have to do more than 3 revisions unless you're new or you're just not aligned with the vision of the client, but that's a different discussion. As you can tell, it was very simple, but sometimes simple is the best. And as I mentioned in the course video, these folder structures are very customizable. So if you have voiceovers often, you can add a whole folder for voiceover. But again, this folder structure for you guys is free and it's available alongside a myriad of other presets and assets that I'm giving to you when you enroll in my course. That's gonna be the first link in the description below. As always, if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to get back to them as soon as I can. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for everything video editing. Thanks for watching.